When Abdul Baha arrived in 1912, New York was fast becoming a symbol of the modern world. To him, its skyscrapers expressed an aspiration for progress that was typical of the technological age that was coming into being. Truly, it is a wonderful city, he said. New York has made such progress in material civilization. I hope that it may also advance spiritually in the kingdom and covenant of God. I have come for this. The city that welcomed Abdul Baha was on the crest of a wave of optimism about the future. In the busy streets, the master saw a thriving society where everyone hurried to work. New York is a beehive, he said. At that time, 1,000 immigrants a day were streaming through the government reception center on Ellis Island. Most were spreading out across the continent to the mills and factories of the American heartland. Many, however, settled in Manhattan's Lower East Side, making it one of the most densely populated areas on Earth. To the companions of Abdul Baha, it must have seemed as if representatives of all humanity were being drawn together in New York to hear his message. Abdul Baha was attracted by America's interest in the cause of world peace. He had come to New York to speak at the Lake Mohonk Conference on International Arbitration. He believed that the most momentous question of the day was international peace. That a power was needed to prevent war and to proclaim the oneness of humanity. As the master arrived, the country was preparing for a federal election. Social reform was becoming a political issue of national dimensions. Across the country, wherever newspapers could reach, reform measures were being discussed. Abdul Baha was a guest speaker at the 4th annual conference of the NAACP, where he shared the platform with Jane Addams, founder of Hull House in Chicago. As he crossed the continent, the master met with leaders of thought who were actively concerned with the needs of the time. Generally, confidence ran high that remedies for the ills of humankind could be found by advancing science and technology. In Abdul Baha's view, what was needed to resolve the problems of an emerging global society was the union of scientific and moral development, of material and spiritual civilization. Spiritual consciousness is the generating force of human society, he said. Throughout his visit, Abdul Baha addressed issues familiar to us as the major problems of this century. Since 1912, they have expanded in range and complexity. And demand for social action has become a way of life in our time. Abdul Baha put the racist attitudes he found rooted in American culture in a global perspective. He warned that until those prejudices are entirely removed from the people of the world, humanity will not find rest. He saw problems like the extremes of wealth and poverty created by industrial society in an international context. The solution did not lie in the conflict of capital and labor. Fundamentally, the disease afflicting the body politic is lack of love and altruism. Abdul Baha favored the empowerment of women through greater opportunity for education. Social and political progress will not be possible, he said, until man and woman recognize and realize equality. He called on the nations of the world to create an international tribunal to establish the cause of universal peace because the spirit of the age demands peace. No power on earth can stand before it, he asserted. In 1912, Abdul Baha had no illusions, however, about the impending crises facing humanity. He warned, "The earth is loaded with explosives and deadly instruments. Before long, these weapons of hell shall wreck the edifice of mankind." All the bloodshed of the past has been induced through religious or racial prejudice, or political or patriotic bias. After World War I, he wrote, "Movements newly born and worldwide in their range will exert their utmost for the advancement of their designs." Many in 1912 saw that war on the continent was inevitable. Few, however, realized the vital importance of Abdul Baha's message. It was only in the aftermath of World War I, the unprecedented dislocation of the peoples of Europe, together with worldwide economic depression, that the complacency of the Western world was shaken. Nevertheless, when the League of Nations was established, Abdul Baha praised this faltering effort at international agreement as marking the dawn of the most great peace promised by Baha'u'llah. Commemorating his proclamation of the Covenant of Baha'u'llah in 1912, Abdul Baha called New York the City of the Covenant. To the little band of his followers in America, he explained the truth of his mission. Through the Covenant of Baha'u'llah, a way has been opened for a new relationship between God and humankind in this age. The divine teachings must be sought, he said, for they are the remedies for the ills of mankind. The power of the covenant is the axis of the oneness of the world of humanity. Abdul Baha brought the community together in a feast of unity. He called on the Baha'is to promote the cause of unity among the nations of the world. "I desire to make manifest among the friends in America a new light, that they may become a new people, that a new foundation may be laid and complete harmony be realized. For the foundation of Baha'u'llah is love." Since Abdul Baha's visit, a dual process that will ultimately bring about human accord has steadily gained momentum. After a Second World War, the nations have taken another step in the political realm toward unifying the planet. On the New York skyline, the United Nations building has joined the Statue of Liberty as an international symbol of mankind's aspiration toward a new world based on peace and justice. At the same time, through the guidance of the Baha'i teachings, the Baha'is have brought into existence a global community, representative of the diversity of humankind and established in the most remote reaches of the earth. Its affairs are directed by an internationally elected body as conceived in the writings of Baha'u'llah and called the Universal House of Justice. As the revelation of God to our age transforms human consciousness, the political unification of our planet will be seen as a prelude to the fulfillment spoken of 100 years ago by Baha'u'llah. These fruitless strifes, these ruinous wars shall pass away, and the most great peace shall come.